The morning breeze carried the scent of earth and jasmine. Disciples sat around Buddha under the great Bodhi tree. His presence was serene, his gaze calm and knowing. A young disciple broke the silence with a question. Master, how does one truly see the nature of reality? Buddha lifted his hand, letting dust slip through his fingers. What do you see? He asked, eyes resting upon the disciple. The dust falls. It scatters. Then it vanishes, the disciple said. Buddha nodded, his voice steady and deep. So too does perception, shaped by mind and illusion. The disciple frowned, thoughts circling like restless birds. How do we know what is truth and what is illusion? Buddha picked up a lotus resting by a small pond. This flower does not struggle to bloom, he said. It follows the nature set within it. The disciples listened, sensing the lesson woven into his words. To practice wisdom, Buddha continued, you must release attachments. Knowledge is not possession. It is the raft that carries you. A disciple bowed, his voice tinged with reverence. How does one study without clinging to knowing? Buddha smiled gently, placing the lotus back in the water. You must observe, see without craving certainty. Certainty is illusion. Truth reveals itself in stillness. The wind whispered through the leaves as Buddha closed his eyes. To seek truth, one must quiet the mind, he said. A disciple stirred, struggling with the weight of understanding. But if we release all knowledge, how do we grow? Buddha opened his eyes, filled with infinite patience. Growth is natural when you surrender control, he explained. Knowledge flows like water. It nourishes but does not bind. Another disciple leaned forward, voice filled with curiosity. Master, research requires deep examination. How can we practice mindfulness in study? Buddha traced a line in the soil with his finger. Examine with care, but do not grasp too tightly. The wise researcher lets understanding come naturally. The disciples exchanged glances, absorbing his words. Buddha continued, his voice like the flowing river. Stillness allows the essence to rise without force. To grasp too firmly is to distort what is. True. The young disciple bowed, understanding settling like dust. We will practice stillness in our inquiries. Master, Buddha inclined his head, his expression filled with quiet joy. You have taken the first step, he said. Night fell, stars gleaming like lanterns in the dark sky. The disciples sat in silence, reflecting upon wisdom received. Buddha watched the stars, his heart filled with peace. Thus, the path of mindful knowledge unfolded before them. The journey had only begun, yet understanding had already taken root. The Bodhi tree whispered its own silent truths in the wind. Buddha's teachings would live on, carried by those who listened. Another day, another lesson beneath the ancient Bodhi tree. Buddha sat with his disciples. The morning air fresh and cool. A young scholar approached, eyes filled with restless curiosity. Master, we study deeply, yet clarity eludes us, he said. Buddha gazed at the rising sun, golden against the sky. Mindfulness in inquiry is the key to true understanding, he said. The disciples leaned forward, eager to grasp his words. A soft breeze rustled the leaves, whispering gentle truths. To practice wisdom, one must align thought with presence, Buddha said. A disciple furrowed his brow, struggling with meaning. But study requires analysis. How can mindfulness aid research? He asked. Buddha picked up a handful of rice grains, holding them gently. These grains nourish the body but do not burden the hand, he said. Research must flow like water, without grasping or clinging. Another disciple bowed, considering the lesson carefully. Master, how do we refine our focus in study? Buddha placed the rice grains on a small wooden plate. The farmer tends his crops without forcing their growth, he said. Knowledge ripens through patience, not hurried conclusions. The disciples exchanged glances, Reflecting on his wisdom, Buddha continued, voice steady as the gentle river. Study must be approached with care and detachment, he said. To cling to answers is to block the path forward. A disciple sighed, overwhelmed by complexity and depth. But Master, certainty feels necessary for progress, he said. Buddha smiled, watching a bird glide across the sky. Does the bird question the wind before it flies? The disciple shook his head, realization settling within him. The bird trusts the flow of nature, he said. Buddha nodded, eyes filled with quiet understanding. So too must you trust the unfolding of knowledge, he said. Another day, another layer of wisdom uncovered. The disciples bowed, the journey within growing ever deeper. Night fell, stars reflecting the boundless universe above. Buddha remained still, his teachings carried in the silence. The disciples listened, embracing each lesson as it came. Another day, another lesson beneath the Bodhi tree. The morning sun bathed the earth in golden light. Buddha sat with his disciples, his expression calm. A gentle wind carried the scent of blooming jasmine. A scholar approached, his heart weighed with uncertainty. Master, we seek wisdom, yet knowledge feels incomplete, he said. Buddha observed the river flowing beyond the monastery walls. Knowledge alone is not wisdom, he said patiently. The disciples exchanged glances, reflecting on his words. To understand truth, one must transcend the self, Buddha continued. A disciple bowed, voice laced with reverence. How does one move beyond personal desire in research? Buddha lifted a clay bowl filled with clear water. The water reflects, but it does not possess, he said. A researcher must see without grasping for control. Another disciple furrowed his brow, considering the lesson. But Master, should we not seek definitive answers? He asked. Buddha dipped his fingers into the water's surface. Answers arise when the mind is free from ownership, he said. The disciples sat in silence, absorbing his wisdom. To practice Buddhism in study, Buddha said, one must serve. A true scholar does not seek to conquer knowledge. Knowledge is a gift, not a possession, he said. A disciple bowed, realization unfolding within him. We will offer our discoveries for the benefit of all, he said. Buddha smiled, his eyes filled with quiet joy. You have understood the final path, he said softly. The sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the ground. The disciples embraced the teachings. Their hearts lightened. Another day, another step toward truth and wisdom. Night fell, the stars gleaming above in silent testimony. Buddha remained still, his teachings carried into the wind. The disciples listened, their journey complete yet ever unfolding. I have lived in the shadows of my past mistakes. How do I free myself? He asked. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.